my co-host, she definitely on her way. We already talked. They ain't know that I seen them, but I seen them. So I know she definitely on her way. You know what I mean? So the Queen, Nick, Raw Cannon, she'll be in the building. The young lady that's going to be one of the guests, she is on the way. She's a young black reporter. You know, I don't want to get too deep. I'm too deep into it right now. I love to have a conversation with folks, and me and her talked a little bit, just to make sure that everything was cool with her coming. We got Cornerstone. I always like to, no, the thing that I want to talk about first before they even come in is Credible Messenger. The Office of Violence Prevention, I talked about it before with the Interrupters, the young lady from Chicago who started it, and they have some form of it in multiple different cities across the country. From what the data is, it does work. I do think you need just basically, for me, it feel like we're paying men and women to take the roles they probably should already be doing in the neighborhood, in our communities. And, I don't think that that's something people shouldn't get paid for. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it's kind of one of those things where we're paying people to do things that they should already be doing. We should be teaching the next generation to do outreach in your neighborhood. Why do you have to get paid, or work for an organization to go do outreach, to go to your neighbors, just even if it's just on your block? If you have a resource, a family member works somewhere where they're hiring at, or you just went through an experience dealing with, say, the insurance company, and there's some information that you found out that would be pertinent to the people who live in and around your community. And why couldn't you just pick a day, block party, clean up, or just a random day, just go from house to house on the block? I don't think people would necessarily look at you weird for coming to their house. And if you already have a relationship and it's just like, listen, I'm just here. I just recently had an experience. I found out some information that I didn't know, and it helped me. And I just wanted to make sure everybody, at least on this block, knew that information. So just in case you ran up against this, you would know what to do. I think just as brothers and sisters, just as humans, we should do outreach anyway. You know what I'm saying? And in different communities and different times, in our community, it was different forms of that, But I just think we should do it more. But I'm not against people getting paid to do outreach, people getting paid to check on somebody after somebody passed away or gets murdered. If we do have people who could do eldership with young men and women in our immediate block or neighborhood, why don't we do that? Why don't we reach out and see, like, I see that young boy don't have a father, and I take my nephews to play basketball every Saturday. Why not ask him or ask his parents, would it be okay for him to go with us on Saturdays? You know what I mean? I think we should be doing that type of outreach in and around our communities anyway, with each other, with black folk. So the Credible Messenger is kind of like, we do outreach in the community. Eddie's house, Cornerstone to be, where our base of operations be at, but we'll be working out in the 18th district with brothers from Pan, brothers and sisters from Pan, because they also work the 18th district as Credible Messengers, and a bunch of other districts as well all over the city. So it will be a thing where it's like we want to be the go-between, we want to be the go-between in our neighborhood so it don't have to go to the law. We want to get out in front of things in the neighborhood, have a relationship with the neighborhood where we can affect change, or we can mediate certain situations, or we have the credibility, because the credibility comes from lived experience. You know what I mean? Credible Messenger, that's basically what that is. It's kind of like being culturally competent. Being culturally competent as in, the language and culture of a certain place. Certain words mean certain things. Certain body language means certain things. A lot of people who don't come from that culture won't recognize those cues. They won't recognize those communications, verbal and nonverbal. But you do, because you come from it, and you have an ability to translate it or be able to get information on one side to pass to the folks on the other side. You know what I mean? Like those folks that's from your neighborhood or those folks that's from your community or a community that you have an understanding about their culture. And that will make you culturally competent for when things happen. You know, if you're not cultural, and this can cultural competence is important in every part of society, though. You know, it's not just black people being understood. It's people in general who have different cultures, and when they go step away from places where that culture is dominant, you have people who understand it in different arenas, or people who come from different arenas who want to help or say they want to help, or however that goes. They come into this arena, this culture, and they need to be able to understand you. If you don't understand the people, you're not going to be able to help them. If you don't understand their language, like I said, verbal or nonverbal, you're not going to be able to help them. So credible messengers, that's what that is. Like you have the ability to be in spaces with providers. You have ability to be in spaces with professionals. If we talking about politicians, we talking about block captains, we talking about teachers, we talking about principals, we talking about the fire captain, we talking about the pastor at the church, we talking about the people who run the rec center. You can go there and be able to talk to all of those people in what we call a professional manner with the understanding of the language and the jargon that they're using. And then I can go and be at the corner store, at the bar, you know, in the same hoop court, at the rec center, on the porch, wherever we at, that folks is not, quote unquote, in the professional, you know, they're not service providers. They're people who need to be served. So I can go in those spaces and understand my brothers and sisters and deal with them with care. So I can come out of this room, not be jaded, not think that I'm above reproach or above all of these other people, and I can get what I need in here. Everybody's good. And then I go not down, but then I go over to the corner, the poppy store, the porch, you know, the trap house, you know what I'm saying, wherever we be at, you know, in the crib, on the stoop, whatever you want to say, and I can relay their messages back and forth so people can get the services that they need. You know what I'm saying? So that's what a credible messenger is. And we not wreck chasing, because that's something that a lot of people thought it might be, that, you know, when something happened, we would go straight to the scene. That's not. Our thing is, if something happened, we failed at that point because we didn't get in front of it in this neighborhood. That's the mindset. Like, we need to be able to find out who is beefing. You know what I'm saying? What's going on at the school? Who wants to go to Job Corps? You know, who just coming home? And what do they need? So they don't got to be back in the mix, igniting the BS, or, you know, when my man come home, it's going to be different. I love that. Like, you know, dude, he be out there, the whole joint, it be on. He get booked, it be quiet. It be like, hold up, how y'all had a 30-year war and this boy went to prison and everything is just quiet? Like, everybody chilling, they coexisting. And then you need to have that information and know that bro about to come back home. And can we tap into him before he get the, you know what I mean, he get everybody, and not even intentionally a lot of times, because I know them dudes would be my brothers. And we become, you know, sometime you will be able to get a brother to an understanding and know, like, Pete, what's going on while you not there, bro? Pete, what's going on? Peep your neighborhood. Peep what's going on while you not there. Don't let them gas you up. And we would have these conversations with each other. And these are the same conversations we need to be having on the streets with young brothers and other brothers who ain't never been to prison, but they in the mix. So they close to, proximity to, something I say a lot. We need to be able to inform them. The same conversations that we was having in prison to keep cats from going home and getting, you know what I mean? Like, turning it all the way back, like you just going, you didn't grow at all. You didn't get nothing in the time that you was going. Like, damn, I can't allow nobody to know that you was walking with me and you ain't get nothing. Now, another cat might be able to live with that. I can't. No, nobody gonna be. You gonna be like, yeah, I was up there with Omas McCallie, and they be, as soon as they get, they gonna be like, boy, I was with you. If you only knew what this joker was doing out here, he wild. But that's what the credible messenger thing is. You know, I know that we have a bunch of very credible people doing it. Like, I ask for people who look at the world or look at our neighborhood and look at our people very similarly to be a part of this with us. Because there's other credible messengers, you know, in different organizations and everything. But I know ours. I just know ours is a little different. You know what I'm saying? Because of the closeness, the real. Not saying that the other credible message don't have that family feel to it, but I know this is gonna work because these is people that's like they close to each other, and I know how they feel about other people. You know what I mean? I don't have to doubt that. When I ask them to go somewhere and do something and talk to some folks, and you know what I mean, I know that it's gonna be something that I would do or say. They're gonna move similar to what, how I do with their own resources. Now this is the thing I'm trying to understand. Why is Nick sitting here watching the show, y'all? You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to understand, why is Nick sitting here watching the show? I'm not understanding a little bit. No doubt. I was telling, and your husband, I'ma beat Bull up. Like, yo, did you do the job, bro? I gotta do this on the air.
He got it. Listen, you were sending a message. I didn't want to walk in front and do all this while you was in the middle of sending your message. I'm trying to. I understand you trying. We crossing.
No, this is okay.
Cross lateral. We being culturally competent. We can sit in the studio. I can respect you.
We gonna jump in. We gonna jump in. But that's just something I wanted to, talk about. I'm very proud of being able to be a part of it. And this is the thing, I don't want to take anything away from our ancestors, our elder brothers and sisters who was doing this thing too in the 70s. But that's a whole nother conversation about how cyclical community or nonprofit money is, and how and when it comes into our neighborhoods in abundance, if you want to say, and what the thought process is. But can you tell them who you are? I told them, but it's different when you introduce yourself.
It is different. I'm Raw Cannon. I'm right hand sister, and I'm here. And I didn't want to interrupt my brother while he was giving his spiel about the credible messenger, because I wanted that message to come across very clear and uninterrupted, because it's a very important role, and it takes a certain kind of person to be able to step into those shoes and be that culturally competent person, to be able to stand in the boardroom, on the street, and communicate with the young folks out here. So I just did not want to interrupt that. I wanted you to get that clear. I ain't want to interrupt your thought processes or nothing like that, but I wanted to get the message too.
Now what I need to ask is, did your husband finish the situation?
Yeah,
did he submit it and everything?
The situation.
Okay, that's all I needed to know. And I need you Wednesday. I need you to be there Wednesday at 11, man, tomorrow.
Wednesday,
it was supposed to be Thursday, but they changed it on us.
Wednesday.
But we flexible. Like, we fluid at Cornerstone. He got to come to Cornerstone. If you will respond to the listen, black people that you love, like, woo, they can press your buttons sometime, man. Yeah. You just couldn't respond to the group text and put a thumbs up. You just couldn't do it, huh? All right. You gonna have to slide over a little bit.
Oh, sorry about that.
No, it's good. Yes.
Get in close.
Yes.
Get in close. Get the melon. Get close. You know what I'm saying?
All this black
excellence.
Magic.
Black excellence.
Yes.
At every level. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna let both of y'all introduce yourselves, because we don't introduce people. Nobody can introduce you like you can introduce yourself. And then the first question that I ask both of y'all is, who are you?
First off, make sure I'm good. All right. So my name is Armstead Harris III. I go by X's and Arrows within the World Axe Throwing League, WATL. I am a certified judge, certified coach, and community ambassador of Philadelphia.
I'm gonna kick it off like I always do. Yup to the yup. You already know what time it is, man. It's your girl, POC. I'm the host and founder of Revive Radio and Revive Media. We are a media production company. We do a lot of different media, from digital media to live, red carpets, interviews, all that good stuff. So, yeah. And I'm also a publisher of my own newspaper. We have our own newspaper called the Revive Local Paper. So make sure you check us out as well.
So are all platforms covered by both?
Yes, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok.
All right.
Okay.
So all right. So this is the other part to this question too, because black folk, a lot of times when you ask them who they are, it's it's limited, or it's a moment. It's like, and now since everybody got like social media accounts, you can say that's who you are. Like, I'm the social media. No, but can I get a little bit of like, who are you, like identity wise? I'll be more very specific with the question. Who are you identity wise?
That's what I like to hear. All right, so I'm a man that's very sound on his convictions. That's who I am. I make a decision. I don't care what anybody got to say about it. If this is what I decide, if this is the right route to go, this is where I am. This is the direction I'm going in. The reason why is because like a lot of times nowadays, people wearing a mask. I took the mask off. Tired of being defined by my environment. Tired of being defined by the people who look like me but don't have the same intentions I do. Especially for the individuals that are younger than me or older than me. I'm the young man who still remembers what chivalry is. That's who I am.
Okay.
I feel that. And for me, I love that you asked that question because I actually do a workshop on who are you, right? So I actually break it down like, who are you, right? Is getting out of your own way, like a person who's truly getting out of your own way. When you say get out of your own way, that starts, the first question you have to ask yourself is, who am I to be able to get out of my own way? So to answer your question indirectly, I would say I am a Black girl who is who has vision, who is inspiring the next generation to do exactly what they love to do from the gate, from the jump, not waiting until, they go to college or until something traumatic happens in their life, from the gate. Let's get it.
Who are you?
Oh, wow. He gonna put me on the spot. Nice. He gonna put me on the spot. Listen, it's a lot to me. It's a lot to me. Is a lot of depth, and a lot of me is for public knowledge, and a lot of me is not. And I am a Black woman first. Okay, I'm a mother. I'm a wife. I'm a sister. I'm a friend. I am perfecting who I am. I'm learning who it is that I really want to be, and not what has been, pitched to me all my life as a child growing up. So, I am a work in progress. That's who I am.
Do I have to go?
Yeah, you have to go. Who are you, bro?
Well, I'm an African man. From the rip, I mean, you could say Alkebulanian, you could say Nzangian, like you can go into all the different etymologies of what Africa is, what the motherland is. I'm gonna just say the base and the Nile. You know what I'm saying? If my queen is the father of this, if my queen is the mother of this planet, I'm the father. That's what I am, and I do all the things that a father is supposed to do. I live by that. So, like you said, I'm a brother. I'm not always the best brother, but I am a brother, and I'm going to be a brother to you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the best father, but I know I'm a damn good father. Why y'all ask me this, man? This shit.
You don't know what to ask questions.
This start coming from somewhere. I don't even know what I was about to come from. I had to catch that. That was a catch right there. But no, I'm a good father. I feel like I'm a good uncle. You know what I mean? Because every role that a man. You know what I'm saying? Because I do believe in roles. I don't believe in ambiguity of roles. I believe in roles. I believe the world works. So when we say what we're perfecting our role in the world.
Exactly.
Our role in the universe. That's what you're perfecting. Whatever you're. So I believe in roles. I don't believe there's no ambiguity, and I believe a lot of it. Not even a belief. I know that it is. It pushes all of it. There are roles, and whatever you find out who you are and which that's your role. So when y'all say people telling us what our roles are, that's true. You know what I'm saying? But I do believe in roles. So I'm a father. I'm an uncle. I'm a brother. I'm a serious man. I'm silly. I'm greedy.
I was about to say greedy. Yeah, I was just about to say greedy.
I'm love boy. I love the love.
And I wanted to actually say something just to talk about you saying, you believe that there are roles. Like, do you think that there's more, well, in my opinion, let me just start by saying that, is it more of assignments? You know what I mean? Is it more of discernment versus a role? Like, you're placed here to do this assignment. You're here to, to do exactly what you are here to be ordained to do. You feel me? So, like, when you say roles,
I say roles because I understand what you're saying about assignments, but I would say again that would be a role. Your assignment would become your role. So at that point, we kind of will be playing semantics. But I understand what you're saying. Like I know that the way that you are made physically, it speaks to some of what your role may be. You know what I'm saying? It's not like it's one particular thing because you are made this way physically. Like a woman, she just have babies. No, but her role is a little more defined by the fact that she has that ability, that she brings forth life. So that's a role, and your physical determined that. Now you got to figure out what's the best way to do it when you start talking about conscious identity roles. But physically, there is no real thought process to it. Your body does a particular thing. That is a role that comes with it. And you just gotta that and I think and I do believe this when we talk about roles and what you determine it to be. What's your role? I know.
So let me yeah, because I got
go ahead.
Let me throw something at you.
Go
real
ahead,
quick. And I don't want to make it about this.
No.
I'm sure the conversation is going somewhere else. But let's just say there's a woman who cannot necessarily fulfill that role of having a baby. She can't even conceive. Yet even have the idea. So
right.
Is she still fitting your role?
But that go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I believe that because of her caring nature, that because she can't have kids, she can still take care of them. She can still give that type of love the same way. So that role of being a mother figure can be fulfilled for somebody who maybe not have one.
Because it's a certain, and I don't want to get too far, but I don't mind to, but because it's a certain thing about those hormones and that estrogen that gives you that role. If we want to play with that does other thing that it's other things that come from that. It's other ways about that you're gonna have that I'm not gonna have. Right. That determines the role again. Yes, I need to know, and we talked about this. I've talked about this a lot, but I need to know my female side. Not to think that it's like some funny style, but to be a better brother to you, to be a better lover, to be a better partner, to be a better father, to be, you feel what I'm saying? But I gotta fulfill that role of that self-mastery. You feel what I'm saying? Like the role is not just you walk barefoot pregnant. I'm just using that that's not the role. Or because I'm stronger than you physically, then that makes you weak. Nah.
The point that you were making was just the fact that we have different attributes. So that's why I asked that specific question.
And I'm very like I'm very demonstrative about that only because it's like identity is a thought thing. So we really could say that we could be whatever we want to be. Cool. I ain't gonna rumble with nobody about that. But it's certain things that we can't deny. That's not you know what I mean? Your ideas come from that.
Biologically.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Your ideas come from that. So people be thinking, no, we can think everything. No, certain things, your ideas come from your instincts. We talk about this a lot with the urge you have to reproduce, to bring forth life. We have minimized it to just pleasure. So we be like, oh, why is it so strong? And because it's the purpose of it is to make you want to bring forth life. You know what I'm saying? The reason why I feel so good and it's such a strong urge to want to be with, you feel what I'm saying? It's because it's to bring forth life. That's why the only thing that's close to it is eating. And eating is also an instinctual thing.
It is. And
you feel what I'm saying?
No, it is.
And both of those things are for your survival, to make sure life is sustained.
And I think one of the things that we, in our culture nowadays, is that affects the way we see what we were raised, or what is innate in us, and is the negative stigma that gets surrounded by the term role. I feel like role, in essence, you're going to have many roles as a person, right? It's many things you're going to do, because in any event, in any situation, any family or anything, if a person is removed from that family, roles shift. Everybody pitches in. Everybody starts to do something a little different than what they did before. And it's just not a physical thing. It's an actual thing, being a part of a system. Your role in your family system is what your role is. Like I'm a mom in my family system. Right? And I'm also the cook in my family system. And it's nothing wrong. You know what I mean? It's nothing wrong with that. And I feel like, we just gotta breathe more positivity in the structure of our family and the roles that we play and the terminology that we use, and remove the negative stigma surrounding certain things that people that cause people to look at and question what it is that you're actually doing or saying, because it's families look different than what we used to when we coming up, right?
And
they look different now, and it includes a whole lot of different things. Like, family is a system that's put together and it works, and there's no pay involved. It's not a job. You know what I mean? Family is not just blood.
Right.
This right here, right now, is a PSA family, because we're all playing a role. Y'all are bringing your resources. That is your role here today. And our role is we host and co-host, but for real, we just want to share y'all with the world. That's something that is near and dear to me, and what I love most about what we doing here and the role that we playing in our society, helping people and connecting people with people like y'all. And I just feel like let's talk more positively about what a role is.
That's a great segue into what is
exactly
the resource. Yo, you dope. See, this is why I need you. Because I might have went off to Japan.
You always go off
to Japan. You know what I'm saying? I would have came back, but I might have went off. So what is the resource that y'all provide?
Me personally?
Both of y'all.
That's a great question. So many different resources from
them all.
Yeah, so many different resources, from communication to I'm trying to explain how digital media can actually be a resource. So from community resourcing to storytelling to actually I can't even put it. That's crazy. It's really a storytelling situation. It's resources being able to tell people's story and give people a voice and a platform for their voices and their stories to be heard all at the same time.
So let me ask. So you do more of, either way it would be investigating, reporting, but you know how some reporting is on the spot, it's on the spot. You asking questions. You got predetermined questions, yes. Or is it more of you do the pieces, you narrate?
We do so much. So yes, I do
But you know what I'm talking about, how it be a different, you'll be on it, and then some reporters, they're reporters, but they always write a piece. You never really see them on the scene. They'll investigate the stuff that happened and then write a story about it.
Yeah, no. So with my partners at WHRY, I am that. I'm a on the street journalist. So I walk up to different people and ask them different questions based on different scenarios that are going on in the city of Philadelphia. That segment right there is called Matter and All. So I do a bi-weekly segment with them, and that comes on 90.9 FM. And then for Revive Radio, we do what you just said, where we actually interview different people. When we bring on a platform where we have guests come through, talk about the different things they do, and making sure that they're being an advocate or putting forth some type of resources for the community. And then we have the paper, which is the journalism side, where we actually bring forth other journalists and other people who are content creators, what they call themselves nowadays, to bring forth stories to generate different content that people actually want to hear.
What's the resource? So, I'm a coach. I pretty much. Oh, sorry about that. I pretty much try my best to reaffirm confidence, and what I mean by that is that everybody wants to go to the firing range. It's a normal thing nowadays. Everybody got a license to carry. But the thing is that why do you need a license to carry or need a gun in your hand in order to feel as if you're doing something that releases stress? No, that's not it. That's not the only stress reliever out here. I'm here to give the city a decompression after all the daily stresses that we go throughout a daily day. 24-hour day. I'm the individual that you can meet at the gym and say, "Come on, bro, I need to get it out today." All right, let's go. I'm ready. I got whatever you need. I give 84,600 seconds a day for this. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year, and every year for the rest of my life. Fitness, confidence, and even standing in front of a target just to get your anger out, because act on is a new thing. And I've only been doing this for a year, but I could throw an axe 17 different ways. Now you think about how much time and effort and dedication you put into that. That kept me far away from them streets out there. That's what I offer.
That's that. I'm gonna be honest. I never heard anybody talk about axe throwing.
I think that's super dope.
I think that like I really would like for you to go into more detail
Okay,
about that. Like,
okay.
where did you get? Like, did you learn that? Where did you? Is somebody teaching that? Are you teaching that? Can somebody come to you to learn axe throwing?
Yeah, it's a funny story. So, I was sitting down with one of my friends, and we were watching TV. Funny story, we was watching Summer House. We was watching on the Bravo station. So when we got to watching it, I saw that they went on a date and they went axe throwing. So I'm like, hold on, you could throw axes? Like, this is a thing to do? Really? They're like, yeah, but we don't really do that. A brother of mine. So I'm like, come on, bro. Like, we can't let a label hold us back. Mm-hmm. What? Because not them, but because we believe that we don't do that. No, I'm gonna try it. Mm-hmm. So time went on. I went to my first axe throwing spot. I went to Speed Raceway in Jersey. I had a lot of fun there, but it was like I liked it, but I didn't really like mess with it too much. I just would never forget about it, and I always had the pictures and memories that come up on my Facebook page. So out of nowhere, I got into this crazy car accident in the beginning of September. Funny thing is, the same day my son was born, but a year later. But anyway, I got into this crazy car accident, and through the rehab process, one day I just woke up out of nowhere and felt like nothing happened to me. So I said, let me go to the gym. I got myself on a nice regimen. I started doing 2,500 jumping jacks a week. And then from there, I said, well, let me try axe throwing again. And I tried it again. I got stuck up at Bury the Hatchet King of Prussia. And I started going around to the different ones. Well, a lot of the individuals from the WATL, World Axe Throwing League, they got in contact with me. A few of them asked me to come out to these spots. And they sent me a care package. 5 axes, target drawing, target markers, protractor. And now I took that and I built target in my backyard. Well, that's where I actually started at, my backyard. And then I built the target on my block. And I taught all my friends how to throw. Like, the minute I learned how to throw with one hand, I taught my friends how to throw with one hand. Mm-hmm. Because I'm good at replicating things that I learned.
There's actually axe throwing places that you can go right here in the Delaware Valley. Didn't even know that it existed. Didn't even know it was a thing. And there's multiple places. And there's what did you say? The axe throwing league?
World Axe Throwing League.
So, World Axe Throwing League.
I'm based out of King of Prussia, Bury the Hatchet, 1020 West 8th Ave. And I'm trying to start some things in the city right now. But I am actually funny thing is, I'm actually at the first WATL recertified venue within Bury the Hatchet. They had got kicked out of WATL about a couple years ago, and they had a lifetime ban. Somehow, some way, through all the work, a couple people I talked to, everybody wanting to come to the table, we made it happen. It was a big thing.
That's wonderful.
So the only time I seen axe throwing is in prison watching ESPN. And they would have the Jones and people be running on the logs.
I never even.
And then they be climbing the John, cutting the John down with the saw. That's the only place that I ever seen axe throwing. And again, like you said, I didn't see too many brothers and sisters. I'm sure it's some, you know what I mean. But I didn't see too many.
Introduced it to hip hop. Like if you listen to Wu-Tang,
yeah,
he introduced it the whole time. Like you just gotta listen to the bars.
Right.
RZA talks about swords and knives like it ain't nothing.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's crazy because I just thought of that in terms of karate flicks. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a karate flick boy. Like I'm just like they talking about karate flicks. Yeah, I like karate, but that is a real thing. And I do want to know because I've been seeing you in and around Cornerstone. You know what I'm saying? And I do want to know like. When it did it click because of the accident? Did you hit your head or something like that?
No,
you gave the impression in the story. Just for me, maybe I'm on TV land and I had it was like I was in a crazy accident. One day I woke up, nothing wasn't wrong with me. I decided to go to the gym, and then it was like axe throwing was my thing. So that gives me soap opera. He hit his head. He didn't really know who he was for a while. Then one day,
we're want to take back. So Channel 48 back in the day, we used to watch a lot of Kung Fu flicks. Mm-hmm. Well, one of my most favorite Kung Fu flicks was Kid with the Golden Arm. Mm-hmm. Why? Because of long axe and short axe. Long axe and short axe killed 7 hooks, no scratches, no bruises, nothing. Went after the Cheesaw gang, long axe caught short axe, knocked them all off, knocked off Silver Spear by themselves. Mm-hmm. I was enamored by it. And then, you know, watching the show Vikings, finding out that some of our, you know, famous Vikings are part black as well, and just like doing a lot of self searching. Like I did a lot of soul searching to take this mask off, and I did not want to assume any other identity than the man that I stand in front of you today.
Right.
Absolutely.
I claimed myself to be an axe thrower before when people was just laughing and be talking about, man, get out of here, bum. I ain't trying to hear that.
Right.
I claimed myself to be an axe thrower. And I spoke it. I told everybody. I worked out. I trained myself for it. I went to the events. I was around the community. And the community accepted me. Like, whether you believe it or not, the community is so inviting. Like, man, I went to
martial arts is exciting. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely something to get excited about.
Yeah, like, I went to my first tournament. My opponent literally standing here next to me like me and you is. Excuse me. Standing here like me and you is. He daps me up from the beginning and says, hey, good luck, bro. Look at him like, all right. Nice sight move. Nice sight move. All right.
Yo, so that is a crazy thing, man. That we don't trust. We don't trust happiness, kind of like we don't trust. Not saying all of us, but you know what I'm saying. Like when somebody come in, people be like, he ain't really fucking happy like this. This is a game.
Everybody
you
say
know
it's
what I
different
mean?
if it's game mode. No, being an athlete myself, like if it's game mode, it's game mode.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You lock in.
I'm just using that like in everyday life. It feel like it's a thing against like if you smiling, something is wrong. If you too happy, something is wrong. If you too caring, like when you be like, oh, you all right? Are you sure you okay? And it's like,
or somebody walk past you and say hello, and you look like, he talking to me, like you gotta look to see if he was the one
that made me think of that when you said that, like, oh, there's something under that. Like,
so check the move, right?
Like, you good?
So it blows my mind because as we throwing and all that, you know, he outscoring me, he wiping the floor with me, but I ain't tripping off of it. I dropped one time, he said, listen, bro, don't worry about it. On to the next one. I look at him like, hold on. I know I'm not tripping. All right, good. I get my stance back together. I put some powder on my hands. I stand back in front of the board. So it's time for us to go for our last shot. I call a kill shot. I ain't got no other choice. I hit it. My first tournament, first time going for a kill shot, I nail it. Everybody in there like, oh, he hit the kill shot.
That's what's up.
Here it is. I still got the floor white with me.
All right.
So I'm like, and he walked right over to me talking about, like, yo, good shit, bro. I'm like, yo, hold on, wait, what? This happens normally?
Right.
So now, when I come to the tournaments, oh, I'm super energized. You talking about like how they say people be too happy?
Right.
Yeah, I get so happy I get a headache. Right. I get so happy I take the ugliest pictures in the world.
When you love what you do, man, it's a difference. When you love what you, exactly.
It's that
like,
passion
and
not only that. That is the kind of energy you want to put out there.
And thank you so much for saying that.
Because you want people, you want that energy to come across. You want other people to pick up on that energy. And not only that, you never know what's happening in somebody else's life where they just need that one person to cross their path and transfer that energy to them that can change the trajectory of their entire rest of their day.
I know finding X don't change the trajectory of trajectory of mine. It changed my life. Finding X don't change my life. I will look everyone in the eyes. Y'all know me. Y'all know who I am. Y'all know what I'm saying. X don't change my life.
Nah, that's dope, yo. It's better than saying jail changed my life. Like, I like other stories.
Yeah.
I like other stories because this has become a little too and I'm living in it. It becomes a little too popular. It's like I went to jail. We got other things that change your life. It don't have it don't have to always be the hurt shit. Like everything was painful. Like
first,
like you said earlier, it don't always have to be that. Like that's how you come into your role because some traumatic experience. You know what I mean? So I do wanna ask, because when he said, yo, I love doing this, I never had no plans to do this. You know what I'm saying? And then when it happened, I was like, all right, cool, I could do it. It'll be an ends to the means. And then once I started doing it, like, this is a part of my life where it's like, I never feel like I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I never come, and I never leave like, man, why did I even do the show? Like, every time it's like, yo, I feel good about, even if I'm by myself, even if it's not on purpose.
He do be
you know what I'm saying? But I still love doing the show. It's very cathartic.
Because you're a love boy. You like to talk.
I do like to talk. And I just, I'm not even going to get into that. But the reason why I said it, because I wanted to ask, like, how did you get into media, communications, entertain? You know, because all of those things come into it when you on radio or you doing podcasts or stuff like that.
No doubt. Shout out to Cheney University. That's the school I graduated from.
HBCU in the building.
Yes.
So after graduating from Cheney, I received the
That's what's
internship.
up.
Yeah. At 900 AM WRD, which is the only Black-owned radio station in this area in Pennsylvania. So after receiving the internship, I actually graduated with a business marketing degree. So when I graduated, this is when social media was about to pop off, right? So I got the internship based on my based on my marketing degree. So I was going to go do social media marketing for the Wake Up with Word show with Solomon Jones. That was my mentor at the time. So while doing that, Solomon is like, I'm not sure if you ever listened to him, but he's like someone who's super opinionated and he doesn't mind if other opinions are in the room. So he was like, no, I need a millennial perspective. Like, y'all sit down, get on the mic. So this is my first time live radio. I'm like, oh, nervous as hell. But as soon as the mic came on, the question came and I spit and I was like, blah, 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 you know what I mean? Like I had something to say. And I didn't want to get back up. From that moment on, like literally when the show ended, I went right up to him and was like, yo, how can I do what you're doing? Like, how can I learn it? He was like, you got to take more days. Took more days. Talked to the producer. I was like, how can I do what you're doing? He's like, you got to come on the weekends. I came on the weekends. So from there, it just, you know what I mean? From there, it just went, whoo, you know?
That's what's up.
So so how much does identity play a part? I mean, I feel like I know the question, but, and then that can go more into, because it's not an identity question again, but why do you do what you do? Like, you know, and then since you already was already in the flow, like, why do you do what you do?
Those are two different questions. Which one you want me to get into?
The first one first.
Get into the first
part.
Yeah. All right. Identity plays a huge part. You know what I mean? Especially for me, I go by alias. You know, so when it comes down to being yourself and being your authentic self, you have to show up as that person every day, all day, 24/7. But you also got to remember, like, this is something that you love to do. This is not a job. So, like, you know how most people, when they go into their job, they actually put that mask on. That's not them. They're perky and they doing this, you know, talking all funny and doing that. But when it comes down to what I'm doing, I actually love myself and love what I'm doing at the same time. So identity plays a huge, huge part. But that comes in your support system. The people you have around you, the people who are rooting for you, they will keep you grounded. They will check that ego. You know, they will stop you at the door and be like, nah, we're not doing this today. So I would say my support system and my environment has why you laughing?
Nah,
truly.
Because, you know, I love what I do.
Yeah.
Across the board. Like, I love Cornerstone. I love doing it. Like, they be like, yo, is this real? You're faking. No, and I love what I do. I love being a part of people's lives. There's 1,000 different ways I could say it, but I love doing that. And Cornerstone, you know, doing the research, all of those provide ways for me to do with the work that I love to do. You know what I'm saying? And when you were saying about, I started smiling because I'm looking at her, because these are conversations we have a lot. Like, are you okay for real? Like, are you really good with this? And then the other thing is like being family enough to check each other. Like, yo, she'll say something to me and be like, I'll be like, whatever, man. Like, I'm not dealing with that today. Like, for real, we talk, but she knows my vibe. Like, all right, I hear you, but it's not changing, you know what I mean?
Because it keeps those thoughts and those opinions in your head at the same time. Like, even if it's not the front of your mind, it's still something that's in your mind. So I would definitely keep your environment the same. Like, especially if it keeps you to the space where you smiling about what you're doing. Yeah. She doing something right. You know
no. She is good money. Listen, I am a guy who I can't complain about black women in my life. Like, I'm not a black man that can complain about that. I you know, I know a lot of black men that I love, and it'd be justified in certain spaces, but I'm not a dude. When I really look at how I've been treated from the day that I came out of a black woman to now, I don't have that story. Even with like hardships, even with going through things with women I've dealt with, going through things with my daughter, going through things with my sisters, that was painful. It hurt to a certain, but my experience of being loved by a black woman way outweighs these moments in time where we don't agree, or you didn't do the things for me that I was used to based on being loved. Because that's my issue with you. So even that keep me from going way off the deep end. Like, no, what you did was wrong, but it only hurt me like that in comparison to all that I've already received from you and all the other black women in my life.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like a dude could be like, well, that's why I can look at people and be like, listen, I can't really complain. I can be upset about some things. I'm justified. But I'm not. But I do know black men who, from the start, it was shaky with mom, and then it was just topsy-turvy from there on in, because they never going to deal with that. I know black men who will tell you black women are the issue, but really, it's your relationship with your miz.
But it's them first.
And yeah, you need to figure, and that's them. Like, you need to figure that joint out, because that's the one that's breaking everything. They coming and doing the things, yeah, they are, but it's that relationship with mom, man. Like, black men don't know that. So when it's like, you see so many, even in all the craziness that goes on, you see so many black moms loving black boys. Just that. So think about what it would feel. I understand what my sister feel like and saying that mommy treats you different. But think about being the only black boy, or not, you know, not like it's in your house, but when you looking around and we ain't got a lot of resources and mom is ODing on her son and you the son that mom ain't ODing on. You know what I mean? Like, that's a crazy feeling to be amongst other men. Yeah, we all still hit. It's crazy. We living in the struggles, but you know mom is and she gonna ride for you a little harder than she gonna ride for your sister for a whole nother conversation that we can have. You know what I mean? But imagine being that dude amongst all the dudes who mom ain't rocking for you. You know what I mean? And you still got all the same turmoil, but that one thing we holding on to or holding on to us, you don't got it. So you not gonna never look at black women right. It's just not gonna happen. And I know a few cats like this. You know what I mean? And they don't want to talk about it. They'll mention it, but they don't, you know how that go. Like I said,
they're not going to talk about it because I think that's a vulnerable space and a vulnerable place to put somebody in, because then they would have to talk about, you know, their emotions and their trauma. Because if you say it's that their mom, then I think you got to throw the father in that picture as well. You know what I'm saying? But also I think that you got to give that mom, I'm not a mom myself, so I can't really speak for moms out there, but just speaking in general as a woman who inspires and aspires to have babies, I think that you have to give that mom credit, you know. So even though, especially if you're talking about a family of multiple children, so if you're saying like she's working, she's cooking, she's cleaning, and she's providing, and then she got to come home and be your friend too, like that can be a lot, you know what I mean? I was just talking about, I was just talking to one of my friends who was a mother of two, and she says all the time, like, yo, I'm overstimulated. Like, I get so anxious now that I'm just like, if I hear something drop, I'm like, yo, what's wrong with me? You know what I'm saying? Because it's too much going on, and then it's you. So I'm like, I'm just caught, I'm not, for example, like, yo, Hakeem, sit your ass down. You know what I mean? Like, Hakeem ain't even do it, but it's the fact that a pin dropped because he walked past it. So it's not Hakeem's fault. It's literally the fact that I'm multitasking multiple lives. Like, I'm multitasking in my life, and I'm multitasking in yours as well. So that could be a lot. You know what I'm saying?
And you so right. And I know my right hand sister could speak to it way better than me. But you right from a variety of standpoints. Like, one of the conversations that me and my brothers and sisters had to have was, mommy made this mistake, mommy made that mistake, mommy. And while I was in prison, I got so burnt out on it. I was like, damn, but the whole time, I'm the youngest. I've never heard we never had a serious conversation about y'all dad not being here. About my dad not being here.
Let me ask you
about my sister dad. And it took us I was like 30 at the time.
So let me ask you this quick question, right? And it's going to change the subject a little bit, but it's on point. When was like your first time that you had a human experience? Like, when you realized, like, yo, I'm human. Like, I'm actually human.
You know, it's funny. I could probably speak to a couple different times, but one of the things that I tell people a lot of times, I didn't really understand how big I was until I was like 25, 24. Like, people would be like, yo, and now looking back at pictures when I used to be like powerlifting and playing football in high school, yo, I was huge. But I swear to you, at that time, I didn't really realize I was that big. And I didn't. So that was like one of those first joints, like, yo, you are a big human being. And people really do treat you different in a lot of spaces if you pay attention to them.
But you said 24, 25.
Yeah.
So did you have kids at 24 and 25 when you had that realization?
I had one. I had my daughter, but it was still a lot of things going on about whether she was mine or not and all that.
How many kids did your mother have at 24 and 25?
Oh, my mom, I was the last one. And she had 4 by the time she was 26.
So by the time you realized you was human, she was a mother of 4.
And that's what I'm saying. That's why I agree. And it goes back to the part where I say these brothers won't have that conversation, because then you get down to your mom is mom, she's sister, she co-worker, she somebody's side piece, she somebody's wife, she somebody's girlfriend. You know what I mean? Like, she and I realized that I had time, I would say, to realize that about my mom, because I seen so much. I seen my mom put too much weight on my older sister, but I understood my mom had a bad relationship with my grandmom and left the house early. and didn't have the proper things in place to take care of 2 kids because my brother and my sister are a year apart. But because she was going through with my mom, she going through with my grandmom, she jumped out on her own. And the funny thing is, the thing that she was going through with my grandmom is what she was doing to my sister. Because even though my mom is not the oldest of 4, she was treated like the one that was supposed to take care of everybody.
Right.
And that role made her and my so she has this thing where she's trying to prove things to my grandmom, and my grandmom is never recognizing that your daughter is trying to prove, and she's going harder. And then they start fighting. You know what I'm saying? So now that's a thing that we didn't know. That's a thing that, you know, my brother didn't know. My sister, they never sat down and got a different vantage point of being human moment. Like I had those, like, again, when I peep, I'm like, yo, I know what I feel about my dad. As it pertains to me with my mom, you didn't do what you were supposed to do. And then as a young man, when my dad died, I was like, yo, you left me. Just when I needed you, and we was just starting to get to know each other. But that made me think about, all right, how do my sister feel about this?
Right.
And her dad not being around. And how do my older sister and brother feel about their dad not being around? And the things that my sisters went through and the things that my mom went through, and I never seen y'all pull up.
Right.
And it's not a shot at them because my dad didn't either. But it ain't all mommy fault then.
But
you feel what I'm
more
saying?
Easier. It's easier to hold. It's easier to forgive or aspire to what's not tangible, right? It's sort of like the absent parent gets, you know, they get the less heat because they're not the parent that is in your life telling you, you know what I mean, showing you right from wrong, putting you on punishment, setting boundaries, you know what I mean? You know, just trying to help guide you in this journey of becoming your own person.
And you're doing it by yourself.
And you're doing it by yourself. And mothers, a lot of times, lose their own identity, right? In that process, you got to be, and one thing that I have tried to do as a mother differently is I try to individually parent and not just put a whole scope on I'm a mom to all of y'all. And I respect the fact that, yeah, I'm going to parent this child this way and I'm going to parent this child. Because you deal with people based on their needs. This is not, you know, this is not Walmart. It's not a one-stop shop. You can't parent all kids the same way. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, being in that, because I didn't have my first child till I was 30. You know what I mean? But it's like, even at that point,
You're giving me hope. I just
turned
turned 30 this year.
I didn't have my first child.
Hope.
I don't listen. This is so funny because I went to some lady who used to braid my hair. Wait a minute.
I don't want to mess the story up. But you had. You know she got, you know what I mean?
Listen, I spent my whole 30s.
You might have said it and I just didn't pay
I spent my whole 30s having
That's
kids.
what's up.
I had my first child at 30.
That's how it should be.
And my last child at 40. I had a child at 40, y'all.
That's a blessing.
Okay?
Talk to me.
And I pushed them all out. And I'm grateful for that because not every woman body can do that at that time in their life. You know what I mean?
Talk to me, because I want to do that.
Yes, and I was adamant I was not going to have kids because I knew that my mom was 18, 19 when she first started having me and my siblings, and I just wanted to experience life in my 20s without having that responsibility. Wow. Right, I just wanted to go and be free.
Talk about that. We talk about that so much. Like, I'm in agreement. Me, Carlita, a lot of us down at the center, you know, because of information and what you learn about the brain, we really feel like it's from birth to 25. You know what I mean? So that's something that I think we need to really be looking at. Like, not like you don't give them no responsibility, like you treat them like teenagers into their 20s. But realize that the most important part of your body, I feel like, is your brain. Me. Somebody may say it's the art. I think it's the brain. It's the most powerful part, your brain. That doesn't develop fully until you're 25.
It's the one thing you can't get back. It's the one thing
and they can't take out and remove.
And they still trying to figure it out.
It's the longest to heal. It's the one organ that is really, once damaged, is not you can break, you got other, like, you use one kidney, you got another, you can go through,
you can get
heart,
another
you
heart.
can get a heart, but the brain is the only organ in your body that
Hurt one side, you can't get the other side.
And if they saying that this doesn't fully develop till 25, we probably shouldn't be thinking about serious relationships and babies and all that until you probably are 30.
Because they
you know what I'm saying? Like, people could do it whenever they want to do it, but I'm just saying, if we just kind of look at how things, and what you explained, it was like, I didn't know that, and I'm like, but you got to live a little bit. You got to understand some things, and then that's why you move. Nobody's perfect, but you see certain things in certain people, and it's like, damn, all right, now I get how she moves like this with her children and her husband and her work, because she waited till 30. And it was some, not that it wasn't still going to be some issues, and you're telling me it was intentional.
It was intentional.
You know what I'm saying? So
it was intentional,
and she a master.
And I'm mastering.
She's a master.
Because I am going to forever be a work in progress.
She's a master.
It's nothing. It's no ceiling that I'm going to reach that it's going to tell me, oh,
that is
I'm
over.
Here now.
I be telling somebody.
I be telling somebody
that.
Understand.
I be telling somebody that, like, every time we get to the point, we go somewhere, we go higher.
Yeah,
we do more.
Exactly.
If we got one, we make 5.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? That's what we do.
Exactly. And what I also wanted to add to that is society. It puts this pressure on our children to be so mature and responsible at such a young age. But the white kids, the Caucasian, our oppressors, children can live in their house till they 30. They can get inheritances. They don't have to make any adult grown decisions, and whatever, mistakes or anything they've made is forgivable.
But that's privilege, though. That has nothing to do with responsibility.
No, it doesn't
privilege
have
and
anything.
Responsibility are two different things.
Right, but
sure.
what I'm saying, as a culture, even the ones that are not privileged, right? That's when you say. I understand when you say
low-class white person is still
privileged,
yeah.
Right? So I see what you're saying when you say privilege, but I'm looking at it from the perspective of our children not being privileged and being forced to, being held accountable and responsible at such young ages,
and as they should be.
Yeah,
heck yeah, I think they should be. Like, I'm sorry, sis, if I cut you off.
No, go ahead.
Okay. And I don't mean to cut you off.
No, it's okay.
But I think they should be. The reason why, like, if you think about our ancestors and how we was actually born in the creation, like, if we don't want to take it all the way back to Africa, you know what I'm saying? Like, babies was out there doing stuff. Like, we was literally creating and building an entire continent, of people. So yeah, we should be doing stuff. We should teach kids responsibility. They should have things that they should be doing, around the age of 3 to 12 and then other things like that to nurture themselves. So when they do become young adults, they know how to do for themselves. Am I saying that we are supposed to desert them and not allow them to have a childhood? Heck no. It's other ways to experience being a child, but other than just playing around. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
and not only that, it's the discipline part for me. That is the problem. And
we should put discipline on ourselves, though.
It's the level of discipline.
Whooping ass?
It's a level of discipline.
Should we be beating our kids? No, we should not be.
Exactly.
I'm not saying that's not all discipline, but this is the real conversation people ask when they talk about discipline. First thing somebody take is we talking about corporal punishment. We talking about whooping ass. All right, we're taking that off the table. So now it's the next thing.
It's all a learning.
Right.
It's all learning.
So I don't want to cut anybody off, but it's 6 o'clock. We still a lot of time, and I do want this though. I do want this before y'all rule. Why do you do what you do?
Why do I do what I do?
Yeah, why do you do what you do?
Oh my gosh, like I said, it's a discernment for me. It's not a role. Like I feel like I was placed here to do what I'm doing.
Like that.
If I was to do anything else, like you said, I wouldn't feel like myself.
Yeah, I don't want to put on a mask to go to work, yo. Yeah. I don't want to do that.
Yeah. I'm convicted to wake up every morning to do what I do. I love what I do, and
it's a conviction.
And I love people. I want to give everybody this chance to decompress the stress. That's the major thing we go through on the most regular basis.
All the time.
So this is, both of y'all have to come back. It's a lot because the thing that I didn't get to talk about, and this is to put, not to put you on the spot, but to definitely put POC on the spot, is that we didn't talk about Ida.
Oh,
didn't talk about Ida. I so apologize. Yo, I didn't talk about Ida. Yo, like she's gonna come back. Close, like it's gonna be in a couple weeks, 2 weeks, 1 week, something. We gonna get her because we want to talk about
Until
Ida.
we come back, make sure you do your Googles. Ida B. Wells. Make sure you look up this pioneer, this amazing Black African American pioneer who completely changed the game.
Yes.
In so many aspects.
So this is PSA Philly Service Announcement. Takeover Tuesday, Takeover Love, Support, Grace, Social Activism, Resourcing, Art. I'm the sis.
I'm your girl, Nick, Raw Cannon, right hand sister.
That's what we doing out here. We out. Appreciate you too.
We appreciate
Love,
y'all.
support, and grace is always real.